What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. China has published a list of people it calls Taiwan independence diehards and is calling on the public to report others who could be added to it. A new section on the Chinese government agency's website names 10 people, including members of Taiwan's government, Vice President Li Kim-hsiao and Defense Minister Wellington Gu, are on there. They have been already sanctioned by Beijing for supposed separatist activists. The list is unlikely to have any practical effect. It's seen by analysts in Taiwan as an intimidation tactic as China tries to pressure the country to accept its claims of sovereignty over it. President Lai Ching-te reaffirmed his commitment to Taiwan's sovereignty at a promotion ceremony for its military leaders.
坚持中华民国和中华人民共和国互不隶属，坚持主权不容侵犯并吞。
Lai congratulated the 31 Taiwanese Army, Air Force, and Navy officers on their recent promotions. The ceremony was the first of its kind attended by Lai since he took office in May. Police in Taiwan have arrested 27 scammers who stole millions from investors by impersonating a real company. It's part of a wave of high-profile scams in the country that has put citizens and authorities on high alert. John Van Trist has more.
After more than a year of stealing money from investors, it's game over for yet another fraud ring. This time, 27 are arrested. It was a sophisticated operation. They posed as representatives of Japan's Nomura Securities and tricked potential investors into joining a chat group on popular messaging app Line. There, they'd be instructed to download a convincing but bogus app and place orders. From May to November last year, the group is said to have tricked 38 people out of around $12 million US. The scammers took pains to create an air of legitimacy. As an anti-fraud organization explains, the chat group was filled with fake people, encouraging victims not to hold back with their money.
当然，那个群组当中的话，就会出现很多人，就是会实际上都是诈骗假扮的人，就会说啊，这里面大家跟老师赚多少钱，什么东西去诱拐、去加入这样。
And as the police explain, there were a lot of legitimate-looking companies with accounts, easing any suspicions.
该诈骗集团会确保稳定的人头账户来源，透过假应征工作或要求成员担任人头公司的负责人，开设人头账户及协助经营赃款，并施予软性的监控，以防成员脱逃。
Scams of all kinds have flourished in Taiwan in recent years. From January to May alone, over 6,000 similar fraud cases were reported to police. For companies like Nomura's joint venture in Taiwan, it's a matter of warning customers to be on the alert, because despite successful police work, schemes like this one continue to pop up. Justin Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's big Olympic hope in Taekwondo has been defeated in her first match in Paris. Luo Jialing lost 2-0 to Letitia Aoun of Lebanon in the women's 57-kilogram round of 16. After the defeat, she tearfully apologized to the media and left without accepting any interviews. Luo may have another chance to advance via the rematch match. However, this remains uncertain as Luo had an ankle injury going into her bout and needed help leaving the mat after the match. Luo is the only athlete representing Taiwan in Taekwondo at this year's Olympics. She won the bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. Olympic boxer Yu-Ting is the talk of her hometown in northern Taiwan, where a crowd gathered to watch her win in a semifinal bout in her weight class. John Van Trist looks at the celebration and at what's next for the athlete.
Cheering on a hometown hero, Olympic featherweight boxer Yu-Ting has beat her Turkish rival to advance to the gold medal match. Along the way, she's had to overcome not just her opponents, but a wave of vitriol sparked by rumors about her gender, rumors the IOC says are baseless. But back in Lin's birthplace of New Taipei, there's nothing but support. Even the mayor has turned out to watch her compete and give her a congratulatory call. Here's what Lin had to say to her fans.
是让大家看了有 点紧张。那我下一场比赛会尽力的做好，然后希望大家继续为我加油。那回家的路上也要注意安全，把金牌带回去了。
And one person at the watch party had something personal to say. Her mother.
Yu-Ting, 全力以赴，加油！
Lin Yu-Ting's gold medal bout will be on Saturday. She and her coach both say they're ready. But back in her hometown, New Taipei, there are already signs she can expect a hero's welcome, whatever the outcome. Patrick Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
President Lai Ching-te is threatening legal action over the gender controversy that has overshadowed Lin Yu-Ting's Olympic run. Lin's march to the women's featherweight final in Paris has been marred by questions about her biological sex. The controversy started when she failed an undisclosed test by the International Boxing Association in 2023. The IBA was last year stripped of its role as the governing body of Olympic boxing after several scandals. Lai says all athletes deserve a safe and fair environment to compete in the Olympics and has asked the sports administration to look into legal options. Lin will compete in her gold medal match against Julia Seremeta of Poland on Saturday. 3 Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna have been cancelled after police arrested 2 people suspected of planning a terror attack. Austrian authorities say the suspects, aged 17 and 19, were radicalized online. They say one recently made an oath of allegiance to the Islamic State, while the other had Islamic State and Al-Qaeda materials in his house. Police added that they identified chemical substances in the home of the 19-year-old and that a 17-year-old had been an employee at the concert venue. They say the tragedy was prevented by maintaining a heightened terror alert. Scientists have found new evidence that the Great Barrier Reef is in trouble. They're calling for urgent action on climate change and a warning of the consequences if the world's governments don't act. John Van Trieste has this report.
The Great Barrier Reef is under threat. A new study analyzing coral skeletons has found seawater around the reef is at its hottest in 400 years. Coral is highly sensitive to ocean temperatures, and in the case of the Great Barrier Reef, continued warming could prove catastrophic for an area big enough to be seen from space.
We are trying here to assess the risk of these mass bleaching events. I mean, the Great Barrier Reef is the size of Italy, so it's absolutely enormous. And you're talking here about a mass bleaching event can have the footprint around 10 times bigger than the most extreme tropical cyclone.
The rate at which the sea has heated up hasn't been constant over all those centuries, though. Coral skeletons show an uptick from 1900, leading scientists to conclude that human-induced climate change is the culprit. Researchers say there's not much time left to keep the damage under control.
If the current trends continue and if humans don't change the way they live, we will definitely see more of those heat events, and we see them more often. What's happening now in the last 20-30 years is that these heat extremes are happening more often, and there's less time for corals to recover.
The Great Barrier Reef has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1981 and is a natural marvel that captures the global imagination. Now, scientists are sounding the alarm about its future.
The science is pointing very clearly to the reef being in danger, and elevating that status, I think, is not blaming any particular government, but it's a rally call to the world that we need to be reducing our emissions urgently, immediately.
But warnings about climate change like this aren't new. While scientists are doing what they can, saving the reef may in the end be a matter of political will. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we take you to this special yoga class in Los Angeles, where these yogis are finding peace among the puppies. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.